I'd like to tell you the story about the day my life fell apart. I was in my local coffee shop, which was actually a good distraction from the noise of the traffic outside. I don't drink coffee, but their hot chocolate is to die for. So, my friend Billy said earlier that he might give me a call this afternoon, and I took another sip of the hot chocolate and went back to my homework assignment. I need to write 1,000 words about something that really bothers me, something that might seem like a life changing event, but one I never saw coming. I almost knocked the hot chocolate off the table when my phone chimed and reached for it. The chime was a text message, and I couldn't believe he was sending a text instead of calling me. When I checked the message, I noticed that the text wasn't from Billy, but was from my mom. I didn't really want to read it, but she was going out of town in a couple days on a business trip, and I knew I should see what she wanted. When I clicked to read the message, the words didn't make any sense. The message said, "I can't wait for this weekend with you, darling, and I might be able to squeeze in another day. I'll just call home on Sunday and say there's an extra meeting scheduled for Monday. Make sure to delete this message after you read it, so your wife doesn't see it." At first, I couldn't believe what I was reading. I couldn't breathe. The air around me felt hot, and my face felt like I was burning up. My stomach started churning like it always does when I'm faced with something upsetting. I thought, Mom, how could you do this to me and Dad? As I sat there trying to fight off the tears, I felt the phone vibrating in my hands and saw it was Mom calling. I didn't want to answer it, but I did anyway. The first thing she said was, "Oh, honey, I'm so sorry. We need to talk." I was so mad. All I said was, "No, Mom, we don't need to talk. You need to talk to Dad." Without another word, I clicked to end the call, and I had to leave the coffee shop because I had all these other people around me. I felt like I was going to start crying. I forgot all about my homework assignment that was due next week. At that moment, homework was the furthest thing from my mind. I found myself wandering through the park about 3 blocks from my home. It was a little cold out, so there weren't any kids playing on the swings or anything. I walked over, sat on a bench, and ended up crying my eyes out. I didn't hear or notice anyone walking up to me, but I heard someone shout, "Hey, Jas, what's wrong?" I opened my eyes and there was Zandra, a good friend of mine from school. I didn't know what to say or whether I even wanted to say anything, but I ended up blurting out, "My parents may be heading for divorce." And Zandra said, "That sucks, but it's not the end of the world, and I can take that from someone who's lived through it." So I said to her, "Your parents as well?" And she said, "Yep, about 3 years ago." She stood up and got me to stand up, and then put her arms around me and said, "It might seem bad right now, and it is. I understand. But by the time you go off to college in a couple months, you'll be okay." We talked for a few more minutes. She gave me another hug, and I headed home. As I was walking up the driveway, I could see Mom staring through the front window. I could see she had been crying too. But now it was time to go inside, have Mom confront Dad, and see what my future was going to look like.